What in the world happened to Ehang? Oh my goodness, look at the current price today. Took a massive dip. And I recently made a video just reviewing Ehang a couple days ago, right? And I was reading through their white paper, I was checking out their website, videos of the product, and it looked actually quite promising. You know, I was actually looking at this company thinking like, whoa, this is actually going to be amazing if this actually ends up happening and people can actually utilize their product. And just really quick summary in case you have no idea what Ehang is. It's essentially a drone taxi. So think of it as just giant drones that you can pretty much transport people and go to, fly certain distances, right? So like an Uber drone taxi, maybe if you're in America, might make more sense. But that's like the summary. That was supposedly what the company was doing. However, today there was news that came out that pretty much said everything that Ehang is doing is not even accurate and that you need to double check your research and check into this business because apparently they're promoting it more as like a stock promotion, and in terms of their actual business producing actual drones, that essentially doesn't really exist. And before I do get into it, just remember everything in this video is just educational purposes. Make sure you do heavy research, especially for this company, before you make any sort of financial decisions. So just keep that in mind. And right now, let's just take a look at the price, and then I'll share with you some of the news that I found because it's not, I'd say in my own opinion, based off what I research, is not looking too good for Ehang. And again, unless you find some sort of articles or unless something happens in the next few days that comes out, I'll make an update video. But let me just show you the price dip first, and then we can go into the resource that I was looking at earlier. So like an all-time high right there. Looks like what, 130 plus, and then I mean that dip, I mean that's a big dip for one day, like geez, almost 70%. So whoever got in at these numbers right here, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but it's something you can't really predict too. Like who was gonna predict this, right? The company, the way they promote it, it looked great on paper, but again, this company is from China. Unless you're local, you live in the area, or you know people who actually been over there at especially Ehang's facilities, at the end of the day, you can't really use anything besides what they show you. So now let's check this out, right? So here is this website. I'm on this site, Wolfpack Research, and essentially this is a company that researches into stocks, and you can read more about their details and everything, but they created this full reports, and essentially if you want to look at it, we are short Ehang, and they go into all these details and everything. And I personally haven't read this entire report, but I watched this 30+ minute interview video, and it essentially talks about everything that they were talking about, right? So in short, you can see here, it's an elaborate stock promotion built on largely fabricated revenues based on sham sales contracts, and they are with a customer who appears to us to be more interested in helping inflate the value of its investment in EH, aka pump the stock price, than actually buying its products. Now you can obviously read in here some of the claims and everything about what they're talking about, but here too, let's check this out. So here's a Twitter. It's probably easier to see like visuals. And you can see here, it is a short bias activist research and due diligence firm founded by Dan David. Okay, so this guy apparently was in the interview, and I'll show you that in just a second. I'll show you a snippet from one of the interviews because it's something to think about, right? Because if you go on like Reddit, you go on the comments, everyone's saying, oh, these are fake reports. They're just trying to short and make a bunch of money. And that could be a high possibility, right? At least today, we have no proof from Ehang that is essentially justifying what this research firm has said. So let me just show you really quick. So here's the report, you can check it out, and then here's stuff in I can't read Chinese, so I obviously or Mandarin. If you can, then definitely you can check in there and confirm what it's saying, but basically we just can't do anything at that point if you can't understand what it says. Now here they're basically saying they visit the facilities of Ehang, reportedly the locations, and apparently some of them aren't even actual places. They're like just hotel floors, and like here it's saying that this one apparently wasn't even close to being finished, and you can see here these images. Now again, you can take these with a grain of salt, or you can actually do your own due diligence and research into it to confirm whether or not this is false or if this is actually legit. Because if it's legit, then that is not going to be a good sign for or Ehang. If it's false and they're just using this, to fuel their own incentives and benefit from it, then obviously you'd have to confirm and justify that it's not true, right? And then here's something they posted that's quite interesting. I don't have any knowledge on drone technology. I'm not an expert, any of that stuff. So again, someone can link resources to, counter or essentially disprove this claim. Feel free to link down below. But for this video, this picture, they're taking essentially this picture right here. I'm not sure where this website is, but let's read the actual caption first. So they're stating, Mark Moore, 32-year NASA veteran who evaluated the EH216, which they stated, yeah, he's actually helping out Uber. So if you've seen like Uber America, obviously Uber carpooling app, they have like Uber Air, which essentially Uber Elevate, basically the, the drone taxi idea that they're building right now. And he's the director of aviation of engineering here. And look at this. He said they're using hobby-grade motors made by T-Motor, a Chinese hobby drone maker. Okay, so let's click on this picture. I'm not sure where this, I'm guessing this is their actual website. Again, we're gonna have to double check, but either way, I've seen the actual drone and look at this. It's like pointing this arrow. So if any, drone experts can confirm this picture, whether this is like a poor quality product or whatever material to use for drones, definitely let me know in the comments below. One of their arguments was stating how if you're going to be transporting humans, like actual people, you don't want to have these like toy style, like hobbyist drones. I'm just paraphrasing that. I don't know exactly what they said in quotes, but in short, they're basically saying that you want to use the best top tier technology in parts if you're actually going to be transporting humans with these drones, right? So that's just like something, if someone can, disprove that, definitely let me know in the comments below, because I don't have any links to anything here. Now here's interesting is they toured this factory video. So let's actually, I brought this up here. So right here, let me just go ahead and play this. And this is unlisted on the actual Wolfpack researches. You can see here on their actual, their YouTube. And it's hard to really get anything from this besides somebody looks like they're secretly filming. So let me just share some of my opinions off of this video right now. So I'll play a little bit of it, and you can see there's some drones in here, but essentially their argument is stating how they go to this, facility, this manufacturing place for the drones, and there's barely that many drones. Like there's just a bunch of them on display here, but there's no if you go to a car manufacturer, you'd see thousands of these cars, all the parts, everything. But here it just seems like it's empty and there's no workers, there's nobody in sight. And people are saying that this was filmed on Chinese New Year or something where there's no one at work. And here I just Googled really quick, Chinese New Year, it's stating on the Friday of February 12th. So again, I don't know how long the week ends or how the way they do it in terms of holidays and whatnot over there. But again, this video is posted on the 15th or 16th of February. I don't know a confirmation of when this was actually filmed. And if this was filmed during some sort of holiday, then yeah, that could, debunk this being empty. But the things that don't make sense is why or who is this person actually recording this, right? Because one of their arguments was stating how that they just walked up. There was maybe one dude or one security guard, and they basically just walked around and walked inside the facility. And now they're just inside this, supposedly, proprietary top tier, drone technology company. Yet this person just walking in here. Now, again, this could be an employee. This could be part of Wolfpack. Who knows? No one knows this person because I didn't see their face, right? And then you're probably wondering, is this even their facility or this is just a place they're storing stuff? And at the end, I can see if I can, right here, you can see here is some more drones, but you can see the name Ehang here. So at least I can confirm that this is supposedly some place where these drones are supposed to be stored. I don't know if this is the actual office location or maybe a display room type thing. But mainly the focus of this video was to show it's completely empty, nobody's working, and that essentially everything was used for promotion. So again, if someone can justify this, I think Ehang would have to respond to these allegations and these, videos showing hey, this was a holiday, people were off, that's why no one's here. And also, another thing is how can this person just get in? Who is this person inside here filming this, right? They're filming it kind of awkward too. If you see, they're just shaking a bunch, so it's it's either they have a hidden camera on, most likely, because it would make, if imagine if they actually did have people in there, they probably couldn't even film this. So it's really weird. The angle, I'm assuming they have some sort of like maybe GoPro body camera attached to them, because if they're just holding like a cell phone, it's like they're holding it so weird. So again, that's just me, that's my opinion. I'm thinking right now, like, how are they filming it? Because it's super shaky, and it's like every step they take, it's like goes crazy. So it's weird how they must have some sort of like hidden camera on them, I would assume. But again, that's just me making assumptions. Now here's the report they released. So here, basically the word leading, everything about them. Their response to allegations raised in the reports, and basically they say here, believes the report contains numerous errors, unsubstantiated statements, and misinterpretation of information. And basically they say the company will consider any necessary and appropriate course of action to protect the interests of the company and all its shareholders, etc. You can see here, you can read this, is fairly short, right? So basically they're saying that it's not true, okay? Which, I mean, obviously your company, you kind of have to say that because you don't want your investors to think otherwise, right? Because if they just ignore this, it'd be awful, right? So I mean, I guess that's saying not true, but again, that doesn't mean anything, right? Especially if you're putting in a lot of money, your own money, into this company, they have to now justify these claims. So now let's go here and just look at this. I'm going to show you this video. So here I'm just going to play this video from the interview with I believe his name's like Dan. What was his name? Whatever. Yeah, Dan. You can check here. And he shows like the intro here. But basically, just listen to this interview really quick, and then you can make your own thoughts on what you think. Oh yeah, let me go here, and I'll put it like on 1.25 speed, and then you can just hear.
Especially when we look at the company inside and out, it's just not feasible. And talking to experts about Ehang itself, the motors in this product are hobby motors. They're not high tech technique motors or technical motors that you would expect to be in something that's going to carry passengers autonomously. It doesn't pass the sniff test for any of the experts we spoke to. One, Mark Moore, who was willing to go on the record, worked for NASA for 32 years, and most recently Uber Elevate, and evaluated the EH216 himself, and said he didn't find the product to be worthy of carrying passengers, very dangerous. You look at it just from an eyeball level, and the propellers are like basically at your thigh or your waist walking in. You got 16 propellers surrounding this capsule, and you have to walk through those unguarded to get in or out of this. I mean, you get any kind of false start, or God forbid you're in the air and one of these propellers flies off. It's just a matter of not if, but when. Where's that going to go? It felt like it's very dangerous, and none of the other EVs that we looked at had any kind of design like this.
Talking about the significance of a company like Uber Elevate and...
So really quick, before I continue, I'm going to show you another section from this interview, but that's one thing I just realized, and I had my question before when I was making the review of Ehang, but I just never thought about it, was the design of the drone, right? So like, let's just go back and see if I can...
And evaluated.
So like right here. So this is something I realized, like, after I made my review of it, I didn't really think of this at first, because obviously I'll just give my general thoughts. But now that I see it, and this is something that it's like, because I looked at the I believe it's an American company that's trying to create something similar to this drone taxi called Joby, I believe. Yeah, let me bring up their site, Joby, and take a look at this design. It looks like a giant helicopter style with like 4 mini propellers, right? And at first when I was looking at this, I was like, yo, this looks way more expensive, way bigger. And, it's like, what's the point when this is like super basic and simple and way cheaper to make? But then when I looked at the design, I'm like, wait a minute. If the door is here, the propeller is literally like, I don't know what dimension that is, but it looks like maybe a couple feet in between. If not, it looks like there's barely any room, right? So imagine like you're just trying to get on the drone, and for some reason it malfunctions, you start spinning. Your leg, whatever, is going to get cut up. Like, you're going to get hurt badly. Because I don't know what these things are made out of, but it doesn't matter. It's like that thing's spinning really fast, and you're just walking, trying to get in the door, and it malfunctions. Like, you're going to get cut up, right? So that's something I realized that doesn't make really much sense. So, again, that's just my opinion and my own insights. Definitely comment below. You disagree with it. You think, hey, that doesn't make any sense. This is actually a smart design, etc. Let me know. But that was something they critiqued that I wanted to make sure you actually are viewing this properly versus just seeing it as like a stock that you put a bunch of money in and then now it's like down, right? Because like literally, like, imagine you're walking and this thing just starts going. Like, what is the safety of this, right? And then another thing he talks about is like Like if this falls off in like, you know, big city and this is just flying down, like that could definitely damage people. Obviously, the same could be said about this too, but it's just the design is so different. And this is another thing. Let me just play the video again because they say something interesting, and I can't fact check this, but if someone can fact check, let me know. But this is really big that I think you'd want to hear.
The EH-216 himself, and said he didn't find the product to be worthy of carrying passengers, very dangerous. You look at it just from an eyeball level, and the propellers are like basically at your thigh or your waist walking in. You got 16 propellers surrounding this capsule, and you have to walk through those unguarded to get in or out of this. I mean, you get any kind of false start, or God forbid you're in the air and one of these propellers flies off. It's just a matter of not if, but when. Where's that going to go? It felt like it's very dangerous, and none of the other EVs that we looked at had any kind of design like this.
Talking about the significance of a company like Uber Elevate and their evaluation of this, from a commercial perspective, a company like Uber and their plans to get into urban aerial mobility seems to be extremely important to the commercial prospects of a product like Ehang's.
Uber Elevate spent $500 million just last year investing in this space, and you compare that to Ehang, and Ehang has an R&D budget of about $10 million. So they've got a completely inferior product here. It's basically just a drone with a couple of seats in it, with no R&D budget to compete with Joby, Volocopter, Bell, Archer, any of these companies. They just happen to make it to market first. And
right, so here, this is key that I don't know their R&D budget, obviously. Someone can fact check, definitely let me know. But they're essentially stating Uber Elevate, I just showed you Joby, basically the American companies have these massive multi-million-dollar budgets, right? You said, what was it, 500 mil? They just spent on research and development. And then they're stating that Ehang only spent 10 million. So if that's true, that's not very good on look for Ehang, because that's literally the most important factor is the safety. Essentially, is the product do its job to the point where there's no risk involved, no one gets hurt. So that's something I'd say to consider, and definitely do your due diligence research to make sure this guy's not saying something that's false. But if it is true, that's definitely something to consider, because that determines in terms of the long-term value of this company, like what happens. Now they state a bunch of other things in terms of like issues with China in general. They also have the interesting part near the end where they just show like the actual person utilizing the drone of like a test flight, and it's like this guy just comes up with like a computer, and then the drone like starts flying. Like it's interesting way they showed it, but it's also, it makes you think, like, is this company even legit, or is this all just a show, right? So keep that in mind. But in terms of overall thoughts, right now for me, Ehang would have to come out with some sort of response video or something to basically knock down all of these accusations that this firm or research did on them. Because until they can do it, it's like, who can you really truly believe, right? They're in China. There's not much people in America at least can do. Now, one thing I can say that I think people might not consider is that this is mainly like U.S. versus like a China thing, it seems like to me. Again, this is just my own opinion. But, you obviously American companies, they're looking to, dominate the American space and, expand. And then there's China. There's some sort of conflict in there. So it's like maybe this is their way to, push down these Chinese companies. But again, these are just my own thoughts, speculating things. But overall, for me personally, I would hold off myself until I saw some sort of justification from Ehang. Much better than just a little report saying like, hey, this is false. Maybe a video tour of the actual warehouses showing the products. Something, right, to give you some sort of insurance. If not, then I'm just going to basically have to, stay away from them for now. So again, definitely let me know what you think in the comments below. Share this video with your friends. And then also subscribe if you want to see more video updates on the market. And one last thing, since you did make it this far in the video, is I want to share with you how you can get 2 free stocks valued up to potentially $1,850. And all you need to do is go to the description below, click on that first link, sign up for Webull, and as long as you deposit a minimum of $100 into your accounts, you will be rewarded with $1,850. So if you use my link, I'll also receive 2 free stocks as well, and that benefits both of us. So if you're interested in that and you have not signed up for Webull yet, go ahead in the description below and click on that link and sign up. And aside from that, I'll see you in the next video.